Hello everybody, welcome back to Hex1E. My name is Ralph. This time, we're going to finish my personal project, the file server for Neil from Retroman Cave. We've now got all the components we need. And let's begin where we left off last time, at my friend's workshop. Afterwards, we'll meet back here. Last time, after some trial and error of where to put what, we left off by coming to the unavoidable realization that simply modifying the existing backplate wouldn't work, and having to make the decision of building a completely new one. It occurred to me that I surely wasn't the first person to be confronted with fitting an ATX style board into an AT or baby AT case, and, as luck would have it, not only wasn't I the first person trying to accomplish this, but I wasn't even the first one attempting it with our specific case, the Leadman or Leadman LC-402. It actually turns out that this case was kind of popular back in the day, with it being used by many smaller IBM clone makers, which of course had a desire to continue using this older case design with a new ATX standard, while at the same time having to retool the least amount of their production line. It even seems that Intel may have provided some type of redesign or guidance incorporating the required changes, although I can't be sure about the veracity of a statement I found in a 1990s blog post still wandering the internet. The only thing I had to do then was to take that modified design, run it through the CNC machine to mill the appropriate cutouts for the I/O, PSU, and expansion card assembly, to then fit a SFX unit instead of the ATX one specified by the new standard. Not a really tough job, considering that SFX is both smaller and lighter than ATX, and a task easily accomplished by just centering the cutout for the SFX power supply and making it smaller. As an added bonus, we can now ignore having to reinforce the backplate, something meant to accommodate the added weight of the original ATX unit. Once that was done, it was just a matter of installing the board and PSU into the modified case and check if everything fit. It may have been a tight fit, but worked out in the end. Let's go back to the studio now and finish this build. I'm glad everything worked out. So let's finish up. While I assemble the rest of this system, let me talk a little bit about the hardware choices I made. The dual-core, dual-thread Celeron G1610T is by no means a speed demon, but does have enough performance for the services a machine will be offering, while having two advantages your Core i something doesn't. First, it's a 35 watt part and sips very little power, something to consider if you're running a machine 24/7. Second, there's ECC support, and though not strictly necessary for a ZFS-based NAS, it's, let's say, recommendable. As for the board, I went with an enterprise class unit for reasons of stability and durability. You don't get ECC memory support on consumer class chipsets from Intel either, so there's that. And for the RAM, two 8 gig sticks for a total of 16 gigs dual channel memory. The drives are split. FreeNAS runs from a cheap consumer SSD. If you've saved the config of the system somewhere and the OS drive fails, it doesn't really matter. Go out and buy another cheap SSD, pop it in there, upload the config, and you're up and running. The storage tank is another story though. This is again enterprise class hardware in the form of 3-4 terabyte Western Digital Gold drives. Oh, a second cheap SSD is thrown in there and serves as a read cache or L2 ARC and improves the performance a little bit. I didn't put a write cache or ZIL in there because there isn't a battery backup for the storage array. Data may get lost if the lights go out. Finally, There's that slightly anachronistic drive cage, housing our spinning rust, an abomination in of itself, powered by a mix of SATA and Molex connectors and a pretty loud small fan with a proprietary power connector. It's okay once installed, I guess, and does greatly improve the usability of the system. Finally, it seems I'm done. Let's boot up the sleeper. Or not? Oh, I know what's happening. Let's fix this quickly. Now it should work. And let's get mesmerized by those non-RGB LEDs. At this point in time, I would normally walk you through the BIOS setup, the system installation, how to create and configure the storage pool, and so on and so forth. But let's instead take a moment to admire one impressive thing about x86 and its legacy computing history. Yes, that's right. A fully modern x86 64-bit multicore system still tries to boot from floppy first, even though that device is connected via a modern interface like USB. Isn't that kind of amazing? At least I think it is. And with this segue into computing history, let's welcome the retro man himself and see what he thinks about the system. Hello, Neo.
Hello, Ralph. Neil here, the retro man, here in the cave, and I am so grateful to have received this from you. I have to say, since I made the switch to 4K filming, my disk space has just been eaten up on my main computer, on the USB drives I've been using to back stuff up and ferry it back and forward. So to get a proper file server with all of this disk space is just perfect. It's perfect timing. But regardless of that, I mean, just look at it. The amount of effort that you've put into it to give it a perfect finish. There's nothing bodgy or hashed about this. It's like it's come straight out of the factory, including all of the modifications that you've had to make to get the modern kit inside here. This is the kind of case that I've been looking for a long time, and I haven't been able to get. I mean, regardless of everything else that you've done with it, to get a classic case like this with the turbo button, with the key on the front, and you did send me the key, it's just over on the other side of the cave, and everything. It's just that sort of classic early 90s case, and it looks amazing and chunky and solid. But then you've gone above and beyond to do everything else that you've done with this, and just to make it the best looking server, I think, on the planet. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I know, but I absolutely love this thing. So my intention is to make a video about this. I'll do a tech nibble on my channel in which I'll take everything out, rebuild it, and pretend I did it all myself. Yeah? Okay. Maybe I won't get away with that, but I'm certainly going to show this off. I'm going to open it up and show everyone what's inside, tell them about your fantastic generosity, and then I'm going to drill some holes in the ceiling and install it on a balcony over at the other end of the cave so that the fan noise is as far away as possible from my mixing desk and my microphones. I know it's got to have the fans to keep it cool, but I can't just put it on the desk here. I've got to put it a little bit out of the way for recording purposes. So I'm going to do that. So hopefully you'll watch that and you'll see where its new home is, where it's going to be very carefully looked after. It's very gratefully received, and it's going to make a whole lot of difference here in my ability to produce videos and keep them safe. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing the remainder of your series on this on your channel. Thanks, mate. Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, after installing all the components, all the disk and everything, doing some cable management I'd rather not have to do. Back then, they had lots of cables in their computers and no way to manage them. That's a lesson I'd rather not have to learn. My name is Ralph. Thank you for watching, and see you next time here at Hex1E. Wait. Now I'm done. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.